What's up, friends? My name is Aaron Ciotti. I'll give you the rest of that battery. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Night Q&A and giveaways and other fun stuff. This was my little take advantage of the holiday rip at a cool little spot right by me here with the rip squeaks. This is the 3-inch rip squeak on the RCX 1306 motors. I can see a little bit of jello in here. Let's take a look at when I'm hard on the throttle, and we're gonna pause it. So you can kind of see it's not totally it's pretty good, but see, so there you go. So there it's starting to get a little soft. That's from vibrations. Those motors on that rig have been through hell, so I'm not totally surprised by that. But yeah, this is my full-time job. If you want me to keep doing this each and every day, I need your help. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. The thing that you can do to help me the most is to join my Patreon. And right now is a really good time to join my Patreon because we're about to give away an entire build. I had a goal for when we hit 200 patrons, which happened last month. to build and give away an entire 5-inch rig. And this is it. So, yeah, if you want to get in on the drawing, which is going to happen whenever I get caught up on chat, jump on over to CiottiFPV.com or click the Linktree link that Remy Tim just dropped into the chat. And yeah, jump onto my Patreon. It's going to cost you $3 whole a month. I know that's a lot to ask. 10 cents a day is just crazy. It's a crazy amount of money, but it really means a lot to me. And it's the only way that I can do this and keep doing this. So if you like this content, straight up, I need your help. Over there on the website, there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I've got all the links to my social nonsense, of course, YouTube, Instagram, a bunch more at the bottom. I have an Etsy store with some really fun stickers and hardware and all kinds of good stuff. Over on Fiverr, we've got some really cool stuff going on and something brand new going on. So here's what my Fiverr page looks like. There is a new gig. Easy, Fiverr. There's a new gig here on Fiverr. I will enroll you in the FPV mentoring program with Remy Tim. Our fearless moderator, Remy Tim, is doing mentorships with brand new pilots to get them up in the air, or just people that need a little bit of help. So yeah, Daniel, Remy Tim's real human name is Daniel Maurer. He's got this up on his Fiverr as well. I wanted to put him onto my Fiverr because I get a little bit more, eyeballs. So yeah, hire Daniel to help you get up in the air, or if you have somebody that's trying to get up in the air that's new, this is well worth it. $40, achieve one goal. $100, I'll get you in the air. It doesn't give enough. Yeah, we got to fix this. And then $200, I work for you now. Really good pricing, really well worth it. If you or somebody you know is trying to get up in the air, Daniel can help him. He's been doing this for a while over on FPV Builders, the forum, for free. He's a really smart guy that's been into the hobby for a long time. And if there's something that he can't figure out, I'll be able to figure it out. If I can't figure it out, Josh will be able to figure it out. So yeah, you'll be up in the air before you know it. And then I've got a bunch of gigs here. I will edit your FPV footage. I will provide FPV flight instruction via the simulator, flight coaching as well. I'll tune your rig for smoothest and stick response, or spec out the best parts for your build so that you don't waste time and money buying the wrong stuff. I've wasted thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars figuring out what parts are trash and what parts are good. Don't do what I did. Spend a couple dollars and I'll help you do it right the first time. Over on Teespring, I've got some t-shirts. Over on FPV Exchange, I've got some stuff for sale. And then if you guys ever, or anybody you know, are doing orders on any of these sites, FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, Oh My God, FPV Crate, Banggood, Camera Butter, if you hit one of these affiliate links before you check out, I will get 1 to 6% of your entire order. It is free money. You can still use coupon codes, free shipping, all that nonsense. It's, yeah, legit free money. So do it if you don't mind. A couple people in the chat have replaced their bookmarks to all of these websites with my affiliate links, so that every time they hit their bookmark, it triggers the affiliate link, and they don't even have to think about it. Here's my... Wait, what? Which button? Here's my store over on FPV Exchange. If you're not on FPV Exchange yet, you're missing out. Nevin has created a site here that is absolutely phenomenal. He is a huge supporter. I would not be here without him. Head on over, get yourself signed up. Here's a bunch of the stickers. FPV Exchange connects with other websites to show the items and give you all the different prices all at once. So it's connecting with my Etsy store here to show you my stickers and a couple of the random pieces of hardware. These, the stick ends, the t-shirts, and these 3B Hobby motors, these are the things that I'm selling within FPV Exchange, which is another amazing feature of the website, because when you sell an item in FPV Exchange, you get put right next to Banggood and Newbie Drone, and you get put above them because you're probably selling it for less money. So yeah, jump on there, start selling some stuff. It's super awesome, and then it even connects with my Fiverr. That's it. That's all the shilling done. The way that the giveaway is going to work tonight is if you are a patron, you're going to be entered. There's no tier that you have to be on. There's no anything. So if you want to get in on the giveaway tonight for an entire build that I just got done building last night, just join the Patreon. You can join for $3 a month. You can join for $30 a month, whatever you want. At I don't know, 11 o'clock ish, I will take all the patrons and put them all on the wheel and spin the wheel, and we'll see what happens. Speaking of patrons, there's been a bunch of folks that have joined Patreon recently, and I just love to give all you guys shout outs. So let me get caught up on that. Ed Lloyd joined yesterday. Recursive FPV also joined yesterday. Scott FPV. Mike Blade. Who else do we have here? There's me paying Epidemic Sound. I'm just straight up going through my email. CMYKFPV PayPal'd me $20 for the iMac fund. Let's update that. Where the hell is it? Why can I not find anything? There we go. I'm on a 13-year-old computer that is held together by hopes, prayers, and popsicle sticks. So, doing a little, getting with the times. Gonna get an M1, either laptop or iMac, probably an M1 iMac. And this, Frank Nicholas let me know last night that this number is just the base price. The damn thing is gonna end up being like $1,900 all said and done once I add some RAM and a half decent size hard drive. So, but that's fine. I'll cover the other amount or whatever. Renee Stavinik also joined the Patreon. Welcome to the collective, everybody. There's CMYK sending me another $10. What a cool guy. If you guys need graphic design done, you should hire CMYK FPV. He is a fucking awesome designer. He's a little busy, but if enough of you guys pay him actual American dollars, he'll be busy with your work instead of his work. Andrew Duncan also jumped on to the Patreon. Welcome, Andrew. There's a Match.com email. Chewy customer service. Nope, that's not it. Mr. Huggy sent me a message on Patreon. Chris Hugman sent $20. He says some bucks. That's Mr. Huggy. He said some bucks for any giveaways on tonight's live stream. Chris, there's just the one Patreon thing. So I'm gonna take his $20 and I'm gonna put it into the gear fund here. 160 goes to 180. We are cooking now. Speaking of cooking, I just cooked some bad chicken, and it's all in my stomach. So let's see what happens. It didn't smell that bad. It smelled a little bad. It tasted as bad as it smelled, which was kind of weird, but I don't know. I was hungry. Ra Fado also jumped onto the Patreon. Welcome to the collective, Ra. We've got a little bit of T-Kaba also joined the Patreon. Welcome. We've got Hella G's joined the Patreon as well. What's up, Hella? Welcome to the collective, everybody. Scott, I'm just going to say Scott. I'm not going to ruin your last name. Thanks for joining, Scott. We've got a little bit of Mike Stewart. And then the most recent one is Sub Bunny. Welcome, folks, to the collective. You guys are going to get an email, a Discord notification, and a Facebook notification every single time that I live stream, which is every single day at this point. You're also going to get access to a whole bunch of really good articles. Here's what you want to do. Go to the top of the Patreon page and click on, and off on the side there's a bunch of tags. When I make a Patreon post, I put tags into those posts, right? And the most used tags are at the very top of the Patreon page. There's a tag called Tech Talk, TECHTALK. I've written a bunch of really good tech articles in there. Look those up. It's going to tell you how to tune, but not in a million words, in like 50 words, so that you're not totally overwhelmed. It's going to teach you how to dial in your filters, how to troubleshoot motor heat, how to troubleshoot just general like mid-throttle oscillations, video noise, a bunch of other really good stuff. So Yeah, hit Tech Talk on my Patreon page, and there's all kinds of really good stuff going on there. Also, I do audio versions of these live streams. So if you can't watch for 2 or 3 hours a day, you can just listen to it like a podcast. Everybody's been going nuts for that because, I don't know, I've been into this for a long time. I'm a pretty technical guy, so there's a lot of really good info in each one of these live streams, and it's hard to, it's hard to keep up with all of them. And there's some other cool stuff. And then I also do every other, like, for example, last Monday and then this next Monday, I do 3 Patreon giveaways for the $5, $10, and $20 tiers. The $5 tier is the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier. I give away $20 to $40 worth of Tiny Whoop and Toothpick parts. The $10 tier is 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop stuff. It's usually between $50 and $70 worth of Cinewhoop and 3-inch micro brushless stuff. And then the $20 tier is 5-inch stuff, anywhere from $50 to $100 worth of 5-inch shit. And then so I do that so that if you only fly Tiny Whoop, you can only be entered to win Tiny Whoop stuff. If you fly everything, I also have a $30 a month tier that puts you into all of those giveaways. Those are the people that tend to win a lot because they're in, triplicate. But yeah, bunch of cool stuff going on over there. All of you that are patrons, I love you so much. You literally are the only reason that I can do this every day. And, I don't make great money doing this, but I don't care because it's so much fun. And I love hanging out with you guys. And yeah, I mean, you can't have like a job that's super, super, super fun and make tons of money usually. I'm 40 years old now. I've had jobs where I've made a ton of money. I was pretty miserable in those jobs. I haven't made this little money in a long time, but I've never been this happy in a long time. So fuck it. I'm going to rock this till the wheels fall off. What do you think of that, world? In the chat, if you'd like to talk directly to me, all you need to do is type my name. Just like in the real world, you say somebody's name. Oh my God, Cricket was in here first. Holy hell. You don't have to put the @ in front of it, but you do have to spell it right. If you type CiottiFPV into the chat, it's going to light up an orange, and then I'm going to know that you're talking to me. If you don't tag me, I'm just going to think you guys are talking to each other, which you should, because there's a bunch of amazing people in the chat. We call ourselves a collective. I'm not the smartest guy here. I'm smart with certain stuff, but there's certain stuff that I don't know anything about, like DJI. But luckily, there's people in the chat that know DJI upside down and backwards. So when I get a question that I can't answer, I turn it over to the chat, and almost always there'll be 2 or 3 people that have the answer. That's why we're the collective. God damn it. I grew up watching Star Trek Next Generation, so, lots of Borg nightmares. Cricket FPV was first in the chat at 9:35. CMYK-FPV was next, then came Scott FPV, Metadurskin, Motoref FPV, Huff19 FPV, Severin Haggerty, Frank Nicholas, Zach Lothamers, Riot9, Rob Axelson, Tark61, Scott McLaughlin, I'll just say Scott, Michael Blades, Alex Klein, Torktastic, Yarbs FPV, CMYK-FPV, Dauntless, T-Bird, C-White, Quad Doc, License to Drive, Michael Blades, Dauntless, Pacific Northwest Pilots, License to Drive, JT MacGyver FPV, Athix, Dauntless again, Dingles in the house. I just like his name. Rob Axelson, FPV Trucker, E-Doc, Chomper FPV is here. Chomper is on a crazy tour of the United States, flying all over the damn place. I think he's in LA at the moment. I'm so jealous. Yarbs661, License to Drive, Pixel Pusher, Rob Axelson, License again, Chomper again, BeepTube, C Young 300 with a $20 super chat. Bro, thank you, man. He says, screw that chicken, bro. This is for a real meal. Thank you, C Young. I will not, because you told me to, I will not put your $20 in here. I will spend it on a real meal tomorrow. I will take myself out to dinner. I'll buy dinner. Ooh, I'm gonna get Steak and Shake tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm gonna get $20 worth of Steak and Shake tomorrow night. Thanks to C Young 300. I'm gonna stop reading names there. If you want to hear your name read by a gangly bastard, you got to get in early and say something. What do we got here? So in the chat, the folks that have tagged me so far have been CMYK-FPV saying, what's good? Zach Lothamer saying, hope CiottiFPV didn't kill himself with chicken that had gone off. Rob Axelson says, how's that bad chicken? It's bad. It's bad, Rob, but it's in my belly. Michael Blade says hello. Alex Klein says, can we start with a chicken review? Hold on, I'll give you guys a chicken review. Here, I'll give you guys a full review of what I poisoned myself with. Hold on, let me put on this other this other battery that I flew on that Ripsqueak rig. I'm sure you guys will be interested to see this. I gotta put music over it though, because the microphone on the Runcam Hybrid records aids. Come on, epidemic sound, come on. Dark and eccentric, no. Epic and dark, maybe. Let's try epic and dark. Oh, I know this one, that's fine. I'll be right back. No. So let's just talk about the reaction that micros get versus 5-inch rigs, right? So first of all, being able to fly that spot, like, yes, it was Memorial Day, nobody was around, whatever. Being able to fly that spot, first and foremost, like, I'll never be able to fly that spot with a 5-inch rig, full stop. You just can't. It's just, there's just way too much of an opportunity for people and cars to be around in that spot. Whereas with a little, like, 200-gram 3-inch rig that's not going to hurt a fly, you can hammer that spot. Not to mention that when, like, so I was standing up on the roof by the edge so that I could hear people walking around and stuff. The reaction that you get from people is hysterical because they're like, oh my, like every single time it's like, oh my God, that's so cool. What is it? Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's coming down this. Oh, wow. And then, like, you can go say hi to them and like I did that. I was bouncing on the ground and I hammered the throttle and they were like, oh, like it was so cool. Yesterday, I went to another spot and flew 6 or 7 batteries with the acrobrat. I think those were the last. I think that was the end of me flying the acrobrat. I really broke it bad again this time. I think I'm gonna pull the squid out of this and put it into a Ripsqueak. And I think that my days with the acrobrat might be over. But yeah, I flew like at least 5 batteries on this. Had an absolute blast. I put one 5-inch battery up in the air. Halfway through the battery, I get kicked the fuck out. So yeah, I'm gonna go pretty hard on. I've been talking about this a lot, but I'm gonna go pretty hard on 3-inch this year, this summer, because it's finally there. The Runcam Hybrid's really good. I've found a bunch of motors that are really good. I do need to dig into why there's a little bit of jello at full throttle with that rig. But in a minute, we'll look at the 1504.5 rig, which is on this memory card, and I bet you there's no jello at full jam. It's probably just because those RCX motors have had the absolute shit beaten out of them over the last, like, 2 years. Here's your chicken review. This is what I made. Red chili chicken enchiladas. I didn't make them as enchiladas. I just made them as tacos because I'm a lazy bastard. But yeah, this is what I went to go grab. There's your chicken review. Tortastic can smell the bad chicken farts from where he's at. T-Bird says, what's up? Rabaxison says, speaking of chicken, is the In-N-Out Burger still near the Big Chicken in Atlanta? I didn't know that there was an In-N-Out Burger in Atlanta. Out Burger Atlanta. Is there what? No. Really? Wait. No. I don't think it exists anymore. That sucks because I would love to go get some In-N-Out Burger tomorrow with my $20 meal budget. FPV Trucker says, I've had a few adult beverages, don't know how long I'll last. That's okay, brother. Yarbs FPV says, the way this week is going, I'm definitely not winning the quad. Instead, CiottiFPV is going to leak nudes of my mother for some reason. Yarbs FPV is having a bad week. Everybody go sub to Yarbs FPV's channel to make him feel better, or else I'll light your head on fire. Let's see if we can find Yarbs on YouTube. Let's see if he's set. Oh, he has! Yarbs has 40 subscribers. If he doesn't have 60 subscribers by the time we do the giveaway, I'm keeping the quad. There's a link to Yarbs' channel. Go sub to him. He's a great dude. Chomper FPV says, happy Monday. There's C. Young's $20 chicken real meal budget for tomorrow. Remy Tim says, what's up, fools? I'm actually not going to hang around for long this time. Ciotti, remember to ship the VTX for me with the full quad. I'm winning tonight. Nice. He very well could. Remy Tim could win. I'm scrolling. There's Frank Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, Frank. There's Freelojo dropping the Patreon link. Thank you, Freelojo. Doc says, can you or Remy Tim teach people who know how to do the tricks but have no idea how to string them together how to flow? Absolutely, Doc. I mean, so that's a big part of my flight instruction. Daniel can so I'm putting Daniel's mentorship on my Fiverr. Daniel has his own Fiverr. If he wants, maybe he'll put flight instruction up there as well. I'm not going to put his flight instruction on my Fiverr because I already have my own flight instruction on my Fiverr. But yeah, Doc, that's one of the things that I can help you out with whatever you need. Like, if you like the way that I fly, if you think that I'm a good pilot, I can help you become as good as I am. Like, that's sort of the point of, being an instructor, being a coach, is to take people that are, although you could even say that, like, if you're as good or even better than I am, I can help you develop a little bit differently, right? Like, it's not even about, like, how good you are. It's about, like, if you don't fly exactly like I do, then I can help you to fly more like I do, right? We tend to call that, like, better or worse, but it's just different, right? Like, it's just different. So yeah, that's something I can absolutely help out with, Doc. I spend a lot of time thinking, and I have spent a ton of time thinking about exactly that. Like, how the hell do I string stuff together so that I have, like, one big cohesive run going? I'm kind of lucky enough to come from motorsports, and specifically autocross, where every single component of the racetrack is connected, and you have to figure out how to flow through the entire racetrack. Like, that's what makes a good autocross driver great, is their ability to connect all of the corners so that you basically never straighten the steering wheel out. There's never a point. That's one of the things I used to teach. I would wrap orange or red electric tape over the top dead center of my students' steering wheels, and I would tell them to bury that tape. And then if I ever saw that tape on the top of the wheel, I was going to grab the fucking wheel and bury the tape. because if you've got a whole bunch of corners all next to each other and you run like a really snaky kind of only turn the steering wheel a little bit but always turn the steering wheel line, you can go really fast. Whereas if you just drive in a straight line to the corner and then go like this and then go like this and then drive a straight line out of the corner and then go like this and then go like this, you're not going to be able to go very fast, right? So yeah, that was a big thing that I taught really hard for the better part of like 10 years back when I was an autocross instructor. So yeah, I can definitely help. Dauntless FPV says, what exactly do you do to get session 4s to go on SuperView and 4x3? Tried my friend's older version of the app today and no dice. I'm kind of pissed. Dauntless, you got to go and search for fake SuperView here on YouTube. Wild Willie, Nick Willard has a video on how to do it. I just follow his video. It's really simple. It is based around Premiere. You can probably also do it in After. I'm sure you can do it in After Effects. Not sure how you would do it in DaVinci Resolve, but yeah, that's how you do it. Double A saying hello. What's up, Double A? Hawko, YouTube, you bastard. Scrolling back up to find my place. Hawk FPV says, your website is not working. Something about privacy. Yeah, Hawk, that's your browser being a little overly sensitive. You can, down at the bottom of that screen, you can click, like, trust this website and you'll be fine. Or you can just go to, a bunch of the guys drop the Linktree link. Here, I'll drop the Linktree link. Linktree/Ciotti will take you there without the warning. But yeah, you can just scroll down on that warning and click, this is a trusted website, and you're good. I don't know how to internet, so I don't know. I have the redirect not working right, and it's the redirect is not HTTPS, it's just regular HTTP, and some browsers are overly sensitive to non-HTTPS. I don't know what any of that means, but that's what people have told me. Wild FPV says, would you recommend an HD split-style cam or a small action camera like the Insta360 Go on a micro? Really good question, Wild FPV. It's going to be more based on how much you're going to crash. The Insta360 Go and the Insta360 Go 2 are going to give you slightly better image quality than a RunCam hybrid, but they're going to be much more fragile. So I really like the RunCam hybrid because it's fully enclosed, right? Like it's all up in there, and then the board is fully protected, so I can bang the living shit out of the rigs that are carrying those, and they'll just bounce off of everything, and away we go again. Whereas with an Insta360 Go, it also price, right? Insta360 Go is $200. The Go 2 is $300. Make sure you get the physical damage protection for sure, because flying either one of those things, FPV, you're going to destroy quite a few of them. So yeah, and then the Insta360 Go is also going to give you the option for horizon lock, which is kind of cool. I just put a... did I put it up on YouTube? I don't think I put it up on YouTube yet. So I do work trade for a yoga studio, and at my work trade on Friday, they let me fly a couple of batteries at the beginning of this one class. So this is what you can get from a... I'll just let the copyright happen, it's fine. This is what you can get from an Insta360 Go. It's pretty goddamn impressive. Where's the audio? There it is. So there you guys go. That's actually the Insta360 Go 1, the original. And that's being hauled around by this wee little 65 millimeter tiny whoop that is sort of my bread and butter. The Insta360 Go 1 is only 18 grams, and this thing can pick it up and carry it around for about 2 minutes. The Insta360 Go 2 is 26 or 28 grams. I don't have one yet. I don't think this would really pick it up, but you can build a 75 millimeter whoop to carry that thing around. I'm still trying to figure out the best motors for a 75 mil whoop. Once I do, and I'm still kind of holding out and really hoping to hell that Best Buy will sell the Insta360 Go 2, because I really want to fly it hard and bash the shit out of them and be able to return them to Best Buy instead of having to mail them back in. Yeah, so there you go. Great question, Wild FPV. Remy Tim says you should do tech talk on TikTok. That's too many T's, Remy Tim. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's too many T's. I should do it on Instagram, but and there's other reasons that I'm not interested in going on TikTok. Hawk FPV says your website is not. Oh, we got that. Tuner Taxi says what's up. MotorF says, any thoughts on how you're thinking to give away that third FPV exchange build, the Apex? No rush, just checking, thanks. Kind of forgot about it, to be honest, MotorF. It's probably going to be something surrounding you guys signing up on FPV Exchange, importing some of the stuff that you've bought, taking a screenshot, and sending me the screenshot. Because, like, I was very lazy about getting onto FPV Exchange for a while, and then eventually when I did, I really started to enjoy using the website. So I want to kind of force you guys to do the same, because it's kind of a pain in the ass to go, you know, take 4 minutes out of your busy day to set up an account and then type in a couple of your passwords to other sites and import all your stuff to FPV Exchange. So I want to kind of encourage more people to do that. And it was incredibly generous for Nevin to send over $1,000 worth of builds, 2 of which we've already given away, 1 of which I'm going to do a little bit more of a pain in the ass, quite honestly, giveaway. But hey, you got to work for $400 for free. I don't think it's too much to ask. Like, hey, here's $400 for not doing anything. Oh, no, wait, you have to take 10 minutes to actually do something. Oh, damn, $400? No, not worth it. My time is way more valuable. 10 minutes of my time is way more valuable. MotoRef said... Oh, wait, no, I got that. Good question, MotoRef. Thanks for the reminder. Carbon Cage says, getting in quick with a question. CiottiFPV mates Rush Blade Stack, no ESC beeper, DSHot 600 enabled. No lost TX model, no beeper on auxiliary either. Never had this issue, usually just works. I'm not sure I understand the question. I have heard of a bunch of at Rampage, a bunch of pilots were were complaining about the Rush stacks though. Rush Blade Stack, no ESC beeper, DShot 600. No lost. Oh, that's weird. So that has to be a Betaflight problem. In order to not have those options in Betaflight, that must be on that Rush Blade target. And the Betaflight devs, I wouldn't think they would just remove that stuff unless Rush told them that it won't do it. So that sounds like, yeah. It should just be there, man. That's weird. Jesus. Scott McLaughlin says, just say Scott Mack. There we go. Scott Mack it is. Recursive FPV says, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the collective, Recursive. Michael Clay says, fuck it. We do an every state freestyle fly at the end of the year. Oh, man, that would be fun. Zach Lothamer says, what's your opinion on the HGLRC Sector 150 frame? Thinking... building it for my first 3-inch build once I become a better pilot. Zach, any reason behind going with that frame rather than the one that I always recommend, which is the BQE Ripsqueak Micro? I'm looking that frame up right now. So it looks like this is the frame. HDLRC doesn't have the best reputation, so I mean, first and foremost, that's kind of scary. BQE, on the other hand, has a phenomenal reputation, so I mean, I would steer you towards the Ripsqueak Micro, like, kind of regardless. What I need to see is just the frame. There we go. So frame doesn't look bad. The carbon fiber is running the correct direction on the arms. That's really good and pretty rare. Is there a weight? Whoa! Okay, definitely don't get this frame. It's 80 grams. That's absolutely the dumbest thing ever. I guess maybe that... Oh my god, HDLRC, are you kidding me with this? I guess that's with... I certainly hope that that's with the prop guards. Well, here's the other problem with this frame is it's a solid base plate. So yeah, definitely don't get this HDLRC frame. There's absolutely no reason to build a solid base plate frame in 2021. That's asinine. So yeah, definitely don't get that frame, brother. Get the BQE Ripsqueak Micro. It's going to be miles better in pretty much every imaginable way. Seth Inman says, I was about to ping you saying that... Seth, were you going to send my computer a message to see how fast our internet connection is? Is that what you were going to do? I like to make fun of... Because that's like the real definition of ping. People in the corporate world started misusing the word ping many years ago, and it's driven me fucking crazy ever since. Nothing against you, Seth. Plenty of people use that word. But I just like to, you know... Seth Inman says, I was about to message you saying that you should set up a dono goal for a better PC, and there it is. Great minds think alike, Seth. Maniac FPV says, what's up, dude? Seth Inman with $5 Californian dollars, or perhaps Canadian dollars. Reiterating that. Thanks for the donation, Seth. Now I feel bad about... Well, you didn't put ping in the super chat, so it's all good. Oh, now I feel bad. Seth did a super chat. I made fun of him using the word ping. Sorry, Seth, but my statement stands. I've been... So, for anybody that's kind of new, I've been in the corporate world for about 20 years. And as a project manager, I've worked for companies as big as... oh my god. I can't think of the name of the company. Who had the data breach? The healthcare company that I worked for? Wow. Not ING. I don't know. I've worked for big companies. I've worked for small companies. I've worked in sales and project management. And like inner industry jargon is something that kind of drives me absolutely insane. Back in college, I was a communication major, and one of the things that they teach you is that like using jargon for the sake of using jargon is not great, because like if you're talking to somebody using like inner industry jargon and they don't know that jargon, they're not going to know what the hell you're talking about, and all of a sudden all they're going to be focused on is trying to figure out what the hell that word meant from context, and they're not actually going to be listening to you. To be a good communicator, you have to use words that everybody understands. So yeah, the whole jargon thing has always sort of driven me insane working in corporate America for so long. It's not you, Seth, believe me. It's yeah, I don't know. I'm a weirdo. Joan Pilot says, hey. Rob Axelson says, damn, that sucks. I'm not sure what we're talking about, but yes, it does suck, Rob. Questy Williams says, what's the new frame that's dropping tomorrow? I believe it's Joshua Bardwell's frame. Shh, you didn't hear it here, though. You heard it on his channel. You didn't hear it on his channel either. Steady Eddie FPV with a $4.99 super chat. He says, I have a GEP-RC Signet 3 Pro and Cinequeen 4K, fun 3-inch quads, single-piece bottom plates. What's a good freestyle 3-inch frame, repayable arms, durable? BQE Ripsqueak Micro is the best one that I've found, Steady Eddie. Although pretty soon I will have my own. I'll give you guys a little sneaky peek. Give you guys a little sneak peek because I did talk to Ryan Harrell today about it. He actually messaged me. It's funny, we were talking about the frame on last night's live stream, and I said like, oh, I'm not gonna message Ryan because I just messaged him like 5 days ago. I don't want to hit him too often because he's doing me a huge favor with all the work that he's done in this frame. So yeah, look at this. Yeah, what do you think of that? That's all you get, just a quick little sneak peek. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It's a little heavy right now. It is a total like version 0.00001 prototype at the moment. There's some stuff that I'm kind of sketched out about that Ryan is confident will hold up. I'm gonna get it and bash the living shit out of it, and see what breaks. So yeah, it's coming. Give me, realistically, it won't be available for like 2 months. It's going to take me some time to crash test it. I'm sure that I'm going to find stuff that needs to get adjusted, and then Ryan's going to have to cut another one, and then I'm going to have to crash test that. So it's going to take some time, but it's going to be really goddamn good once it's done. But yeah, at the moment, BQE Ripsqueak Micro is a phenomenal 3-inch frame. Matthew Vega says, can't stick around, but on the off chance my name is picked, re-roll, have a good one. Damn, Matthew Vega coming in strong. I'll at least message him if his name comes up. Hot Point Hoodlum says, they made the new GoPro app hard to change the settings, in my opinion. That sucks. I haven't been on the GoPro app in a while, so... but eventually I will, and I'll be angry, I'm sure. Dauntless says, I can't get my Session 4 into 4x3 mode. That is the issue. Do I need to do something with ProTune? Not that I know of, Dauntless. That should just be an option. Yeah, 1440 is the resolution, and then it should just go into 4x3 mode. I don't know what else is going on. That's weird. Crash Panda is in the house. Oh, he put the quad that I tuned into the lake this weekend. It's gone. So I'm here to see if I can win a replacement. That sucks, Crash. Here's what you guys need to do if you're going to fly over water is get yourself a chunk of pool noodle and zip tie a pool noodle to the bottom. Just use zip ties. That's what these dents are. They're from the zip ties. Yeah. Zip tie a pool noodle to the bottom of your rig, and then when it crashes in the water, it'll flip over, but it'll float, and you'll be able to see the pool noodle. The key there is, first of all, don't buy a blue pool noodle. If you're going to fly over the water, you got to have a visual observer. You got to have somebody out of the goggles so that when you go down, and this is key, you need to tell this person this, you need to tell them, hey, if I go down in the water, point at where it went down and don't look away from that spot. That is very important. It disappears once it flips upside down. And if the visual observer is pointing at it, and then they look at you and go, hey, I see where it is. When they look back, first of all, their arm is going to have moved, and there's a good chance they'll never see it again. So, like, if you need to have a visual observer to fly over water safely, and you need to tell them, hey, if I go down, resist the urge to look away and just stare at this spot, and don't move your eyes from the exact spot where you saw me go down, and then because I need to fucking swim out there or take the boat out there or whatever to get the damn thing, and if you move your eyes off that spot, you'll never find it again, because it's going to be just a tiny little, it's just going to be a little bit of that pool noodle sticking up above the surface, and it's hard to see. But that fucking blows, Crash Panda. Maybe that sucks, dude. Frank Nicholas says, that's your site not being set up properly. That needs to be fixed. Yeah, I know, Frank. That's what I said earlier. If I misworded that, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's 100% my fault. I'm dumb as shit. Hot Point Hoodlum says, LOL, the yoga instructor almost slapped you out of the sky. Yeah, she did. When I was in the goggles, I was like, oh! It was a pretty cool little moment. Maniac FPV says, you can twerk. Not gonna happen. Wild FPV says, thanks, you're certainly welcome. Metal Dirtskin says, I heard a filmmaker slash DP gripping that the GoPro is garbage for any pro grade work. Yeah, it's true. I kind of want to do FPV in that world, but don't look forward to dealing with people like that. I mean, they're right. Like, the GoPro is garbage compared to, like, a Red or an Arri or anything else like that. But, you know, if you want to hire a pilot for $1,000 a day that can get you footage 6 inches off the side of a building for 1,000 feet, you're gonna have to deal with GoPro footage, my friends. And DPs are starting to kind of understand that. And, you know, typically that footage is so fast-paced and so nuts that it doesn't need to be super high quality. You're also not going to be cropping on it. One of the reasons that directors of photography are so obsessed and editors are so obsessed with these big-ass cameras with these big sensors and crazy amounts of detail is so that they can crop in really tight and not lose a ton of quality. Well, you're not going to crop in on a 5-inch rig pummeling down the side of a building. You're going to want the widest angle possible. So, yeah, they get it. If they're going to hire you, they get it, right? Like, the people in the film world that think GoPros are garbage for any pro-grade work, they're not going to hire you. And they're going to have the films that don't have really exciting freestyle footage in them, or, you know, cinematic FPV drone footage in them, and that's okay. Eventually they'll come around and realize that their shit blows and everybody else's stuff is awesome. Wild FPV says, what do you recommend for 2-inch props? Emax Avan. Emax makes a 4-blade and a 2-blade. They are, I'm sorry, a 4-blade and a 3-blade. They are both fantastic. Get them both, see which ones you like. Drone Pilot says there's a guy called Dane Martin who just flew a quad 8.1 miles on YouTube. Now he holds the record for FPV quad DJI long range, 0.2 short of the max range of DJI. Very cool. License to Drive says HTTPS. The S stands for Secure Encrypted Connection. Yep, that's what I don't have. And you have to pay about $200 a year for verification that you are who you say you are and your website is legit. All right, well, I'm not doing that. So awesome. That's why my website doesn't work. License also says people sometimes complain my Haku website doesn't have HTTPS, but I don't care. I'm not selling anything. Nice. FPVian says, finally joined your Patreon. Keep up the good work. Hope you get insurance soon. Thank you, FPVian. Much appreciated, man. Welcome to the collective. Frank Nicholas says, to poke you regarding ping. Ping measures round-trip latency of a network connection, not speed. Latency is not the same thing as speed. There we go. I never knew, like, specifically what ping was, but I certainly knew that it didn't mean sending a text message to a friend, which is how people now use that word very incorrectly. Michael Daughtry says Taco Bell. Okay. I'm into that. I like Taco Bell. That was my first job ever. 16 years old. Your boy CiottiFPV's first job ever was working at Taco Bell. Halfboard says, note to self, ping CiottiFPV. Ping is hardly jargon and makes sense in reaching out to see if someone/thing is available. It's arguable. Halfboard also says, I get it, agency life. Setherman says, the reason I use ping is because I spend far too much of my time on Discord, and that's what adding someone is officially called in Discord. Oh. Okay. Well, maybe that's why I don't like Discord. Because they use words that I don't like. That's not why I don't like Discord. I don't not like Discord. I just don't make it onto Discord very often because all of my time gets gobbled up on Instagram and Facebook and Patreon and God knows what else. Carbon Cage is in the house, standing upside down, him and his little tiny son. It's weird. The Rush Blade issue, the target out of the box did not support D-Shot. Had the Flash had a few issues with it. The first CSC fried with perfect joints. Oh my god. So, between what I heard at Rampage and what Carbon Cage is going through, it certainly sounds like we should not be buying the Rush flight controller and ESCs. Luckily, there's a lot of other amazing flight controllers and ESCs out there, so who cares? Just don't buy the Rush stuff. Buy Acon, buy T-Motor, and they're going to work, and that's kind of all that matters. That sucks you guys are having to go through that carbon cages. I don't have an answer for you. Bob Noxus with a $20 super chat. He says, getting the fun to 200 away. Wait, nope, that's not it. Away we go, go, go. Hey, thank you, Bob Noxious. Very kind of you. Chris Croft says, install GoPro Labs firmware and use QR codes. So, Chris, I actually have the, what the hell is it called? GP something or other. GoPro BLE remote. That's the one that I use. But that's cool that you can use QR codes. I didn't even know that. Toxic FB says, for sure, now that GoPro Labs is for the session, it's a must, I feel. Oh, wow, GoPro Labs on the session. I didn't realize that. Well, that's pretty cool. Does GoPro Labs give you anything that we didn't used to have before they fucking cucked us and took away all our shit from the sessions? Joan Pilot says, no, don't use a pool noodle, get a water buoy. It will lift 1 kilogram on contact, it inflates. I've heard of those water buoys not inflating. So I would actually rather use a pool noodle, to be totally honest. But yeah, I mean, just use something. Use anything, basically. Pool noodles are infinitely available, and you can rig something up in like 5 minutes, if not less. Freelojo says, just got Ghost Protocol working on my Meteor 75, going to maiden it before too long. Very cool, Freelojo. Let us know how it goes. Meteor 75 is an interesting build. Stoked FPV says, smart moves with the pool noodle. I was using empty water bottles. Empty water bottles work as well. What I really like about the pool noodle is that when you're done flying over water with it, you can bounce your quad with it. It's like the perfect durometer, so that what you do is you go like 20 feet up and you just cut the throttle, and your quad comes down, and you do it as flat as you possibly can, and your quad will go thump, and like it hits the ground, the pit loop goes, oh my god, and the pit loop fires the motors up, and then it bounces up nice and high, and it makes the most satisfying noise you've ever heard. And then what you can do is just not touch the throttle and like put your transmitter down and just walk away, and the quad will go thump, 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 and like usually it'll start to kind of nose down or back, and it'll just kind of like walk around the and then you get more carried away with it, and you find a building, and you fling it up into the building, you go thump off the building, and that when you do it off the building, it's really fun, because like if you're going like 40 miles an hour towards the building and you put it up like this, it'll go boom, and it'll come off the building at like 40 miles an hour. It looks really, really cool. Put a pool noodle in the bottom of your quad, guys. I swear to God, you'll love it. Orga says, doesn't it affect the flying? A little bit. It makes it a little bit slower, but you won't believe how little of an impact it has. There should be something that inflates on impact, or maybe you can add teaching your quad to swim, getting to fiber. Yeah, there is that inflates on impact thing, but yeah, I've heard a bunch of reviews of it not inflating on impact, and at that point, it's, you know, I'm not willing to lose a rig. Quessy Williams says, what is the most exotic, extravagant freestyle motor available now? It's an interesting question. I guess technically those weird ass KO ones that have like the fluid cooling, but that's useless. Realistically, to be honest, the T-Motor F40 Pro 4, it's like the lightest weight. It's kind of the most expensive. Like, It's the one that you want anyway. But yeah, there's this wacky company KO. I don't know. Somebody in the chat will call out the right name. It makes these like 2207s, 2208s that have some oil in them to do like oil cooling. It's all nonsense. I think they're only really used for like high speed runs. In my opinion, you're way better off just buying twice as many of a cheaper motor so that you can just replace motors all the time. Having fresh motors on your rig makes the biggest difference in the crispness of the video and just in general the way that it flies. So buying a ton of premium $25 per motors is much smarter than and is going to do much more for you as a pilot, to be honest, than getting some crazy motor that's 0.01% better, maybe not even better. Those KO motors were horrendously heavy. So realistically, they're going to be worse. They're going to be literally a worse motor for a lot more money. Zach Lothamer says, speaking of GoPro, do they not make the session anymore? Was on their site the other day and didn't see it. Yeah, Zach, the session was discontinued 3, maybe 4 years ago, right around the time that I got into the hobby. The session 5 was discontinued, unfortunately. TweetFPV is in the house. Everybody go subscribe to TweetFPV or I will cut your head off with a shovel. I don't know how that'll work, but I'll figure it out. Frank Nicholas says, you can get a free certificate without verification, no cost. I sent you an email. Thank you, Frank. Aaron Biros says, there's a service for free HTTPS certs called Let's Encrypt. So the problem I'm going to have is, like, if I get whatever the free cert thing is, I don't know what to do with it. Like I have, yeah, I just don't know how to do anything. So if anybody knows how to like log into my GoDaddy and make it not do that, I would love that. But otherwise, nothing's going to change because I can't do anything. I'm useless. Forevermore says, quick, hi, happy holiday. It's my birthday. Yay. Happy birthday, Forevermore. Thanks for stopping by. Sounds like you're just popping in and out. Halfboard says, you can get Let's Encrypt SSL for free. Pain in the ass to set up depending on your host. I could try and help you soon if your friend is too busy. I would love that, Halfboard. I would love it. Halfboard almost chopped his goddamn finger off. Everybody be careful with X-Acto knives. We need these 4 fingers to fly. Always remember that. Halfboard is going to be very sad not being able to fly for a while. It's weird when my hand got all mangled by the 3-inch rig because of fucking butterflight. Not being able to fly for a couple weeks, like, it really drove into my head, like, oh, I gotta be careful. Like, yeah, like, I gotta be careful with my fingies and not, mangle them. Hot Point Hoodlum says, gonna watch the new Pokemon movie with the 5-year-old, not by choice. LOL later. What's it? Never mind. I don't care about Pokemon. I was gonna say what service is it on, but I'm not gonna watch it. Forevermore says, so I put a chair on my robot in place of a weapon to play with the kids today. Oh my god, nice. Forever. But Anderson says, I've set up Let's Encrypt too. I'd offer to help, but the way things are going for me, it would fail spectacularly and burn your house down or something. Metaldirt's gonna have a hard time as well. We're here for you, Metal. Scott FPV says, have you heard anything bad about the Rush Solo VTX? I haven't really heard much of anything about it. But I mean, the answer to your question is no, I haven't heard anything bad. I don't think I've really heard anything good either, though. So, I just haven't really heard much about it. But Rush Tank seems to make really good VTXs. I've run a couple of their VTXs, and they've been totally fine. So, I'll bet you that it's good to go. License to Drive says you have to film that pool noodle bounce now. I know. I'm so mad that I didn't. No, I'm not gonna film it. You guys are gonna go do it. Go get a goddamn pool noodle. Zip tie it to the bottom of your rig. You'll love it 10,000 times more doing it yourself than me doing it for you. That's how cool it is. That's the secret reason why I didn't I didn't film it. Don't mind me. I'm just rehoming an ant over here. All right. There you go, little buddy. Still alive. Rob Oxison says, what's a FOMP? I could show you, but then I would get thrown off of YouTube. Forevermore says, show me how to do it. Show me how you do it. You just zip tie it, and then you just cut the throttle, that's all. Michael D says, could you do video of that noodle action 30 feet away and through goggles with sound? I probably have footage of it somewhere. Let me see something. Since you guys can't stop talking about it. No, I'm just kidding. God damn it, computer. Really? I'm just... 2020. Looking for like Lake Lanier. So that was 6.6. So towards the end... Nah, it's all lake. I must have trashed the Patrick's Lake footage. No, that's not it. 29, 30. Maybe is it? No, it's not this. Nope, I don't have it. Well, maybe. Maybe the next time I went out and flew, I was playing around with it. Let's see. Oh, this might be it. Blah 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 blah. Nope, that ain't it. Nah, I threw the footage away. Go do it though. You're gonna love it. It's worth doing. YouTube, can we please just leave the chat alone and stop insta-scrolling me to the bottom when I don't want to? Freelojo says, now to see if I can get Ghost going on the Taycan and Acrobrat duo. Freelojo, you were having some troubles with Ghost, right? Tell us more. Are you getting it figured out? Forevermore says, thanks for the birthday wishes. I'm always in and out. My ADD has a ball with your stream. Nice forever. Halfboard says, bummed about the finger. I pinch and I'm going to practice pinching with the left and middle finger. Oh, that's interesting. No, Halfboard, you know what you should do is practice thumbing, yo. It's really good to practice thumbing because every once in a while it's nice to use your index finger to hit the switches and not, like, before I forced myself to practice thumbing a little bit, every time I would remove my index finger to hit the switch, there would be a visible like jerk in the footage. Whereas if you force yourself to learn thumbs, you can remove your index finger from the stick without becoming a horrible pilot and flip switches and then bring it back. So practice thumbing, in my opinion. Your Magistry says, unfortunately, GoDaddy sucks, and it's a pain in the ass to get Let's Encrypt set up there, from what I understand, because they don't support the Acme protocol. Well, that's just great. WildFPV says, what's the best Whoop flight controller? The best one is the Newbie Drone V1, which they discontinued like a year ago. All the other ones kind of blow. I haven't found another Whoop AIO that I like at all. So I constantly beg you guys to sell me your V1 Newbie Drone Whoop AIOs. A couple people have sold them to me. If any of you guys have the Newbie Drone V1 Whoop AIO or just a Newbie Drone V1 Acro B brushless Whoop and you're not using it, I will gladly pay you for that AIO. I have 3 of them at the moment. I wouldn't mind having 4 or even 5. So yeah, let me know if you've got if you've got that AIO. I'll absolutely buy it off you. Maybe WildFPV will as well. But me first. Your Magistry says, Let's Encrypt certificates are only valid for 90 days. GoDaddy does not support auto install on Linux hosting accounts, so you need to repeat this process every 90 days. All right, so I'm not into that. Not doing it. Hey, we're caught up on chat, and it's 11 o'clock. Giveaway time. If you haven't joined my Patreon by now, I don't think you're going to have time, but you can try. You can jump over to CiottiFPV.com, hit the Patreon button, and get into that $3 or any tier you want. Because in like 30 seconds, I'm going to take everybody on my Patreon and put them on a wheel and spin the wheel, and whoever's name that comes up, that person gets this entire build with my rates, with my tune, with everything that you need to fly other than a receiver and an antenna and propellers. So yeah, let's do it. You better hurry. You better hurry. Riot9 says, can't believe nobody's told CiottiFPV about auto scroll off option. Stay strong, brothers. It's still funny. Auto scroll off option. So I only have 4 options: manage moderators, participants, toggle timestamps, and send feedback. Not sure if Riot is trolling me, but I'm typing into Google YouTube auto scroll. Oh no. Is this something that I could have... Oh, no, that's not the same thing. It's the chat. It's a chat issue. Well, you know, I've not ever typed it into Google. YouTube live stream chat scrolling. Reddit, what do you got for me? How to turn... No, that's not it. What do you got, Reddit? Ah, here it is! This is the problem. BTTV? What the fuck is BTTV? Opening chat and pop-up fixes. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. What's BTTV? Issue has been there since Twitch started beta every time. Click more messages alert? What? I don't have that. No, it's just broken. Just kidding, no option. Thanks a lot, Riot9, for getting my hopes up. Rob Axelson says, scroll. Seth Inman says, Better TV is used... Oh, Better TV is used for Twitch. I watch a lot of Twitch. It allows custom emotes. Ah, okay. So is that something I can turn off? How do I turn off Better TV in YouTube? Google, tell me how to do it. Oh, no. Oh! Oh god, what? What? No. Doesn't exist in YouTube. Thanks, Seth. Alright, boys and girls, let's do a giveaway. I'm gonna go to Patreon. And I'm gonna go to patrons. And I'm gonna go wait because everything is... Nope. Relationship manager. And I'm going to go to CSV. And that... Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So I have the filters set for active, all tiers, and that's it. Apply filters. 255 beautiful people supporting me on Patreon. Thank you, guys. What a fucking outpouring of support. You know what's really nuts is that we hit 200 like a month ago. Jesus. Apparently being single makes me a better live streamer. I'm fine with that. All right. Scrolling down to the very bottom of this list of wonderful people, I'm even going to put Joshua Bardwell under the wheel. Although I'm sure if he wins, he won't accept it. Because that's just how cool of a guy he is. Is that wheel... I think 255 is too much for Wheel of Names. Let's give it a shot, though. We got Wheel of Names. Let's see what happens when I put 200, when I copy and paste 255 into it. Does it catch on fire? Oh, it's caught on fire. It's on fire. Oh, it's on fire. Oh my god! Oh, look at it. It's very angry. It's very, very angry, this wheel. Let's try this one. Oh, farts. Well, I mean, it looks like it's kind of working except for this weird thing here. Sorry, whoever's on the top of the page. Let me click it a couple times to just see what the hell happens. I'm making sure to click it off the side of this thing here. It worked that time. Let me click it a whole bunch more times to make sure it, like, actually works. Hang on. Hang on. Seems to be working. It's very, like, juddery. But, I mean, who cares about that? Let me click it another couple times just to make sure it's not doing anything weird. It's picking a different person every time. I think we're just going to use it. 661FPV says, anybody know where to get longer MMCX to SMA connectors? Changing my VTX on my 5-inch, wish I had a longer antenna pigtail. I am violently against MMCX, so I have no idea, my man. Sorry. Yo, I think that we're good to go. This seems to be working, so I hope you guys are ready for this, because it's time. I'm going to paste 255 people in, and I'm going to hit the shuffle button a bunch of times. This wheel spin is our 200 patron goal prize of a fully built quad. If you want to see me build this rig, I finished it yesterday. I built it some more the day before, and then I built it some more like a week and a half ago. So you can watch the entire build process. Shout out to FPV Crate. They are one of my sponsors. They send me the monthly boxes for free every month. The majority of this rig has been built from stuff from those FPV Crate boxes. So yeah, huge shout out to FPV Crate. I do have an affiliate link over there, and they have some great stuff for sale outside of the boxes on their website. If you use Radiomaster, they have like everything. They have more Radiomaster stuff than you would ever imagine. Crazy, like fake leather grips, all kinds of stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So check out FPV Crate and use my affiliate link. But for right now, we're gonna hit the shuffle button another couple times, and then the GOAT is gonna call it, and somebody's gonna win. Ready? Ready? Who is it? It's Frank Nicholas! Frank Nicholas, congratulations, brother. You have won a QAV-S lovingly built by your boy, CiottiFPV. I'm pretty sure that I have your address, Frank. You've been on the $40 or $50 tier forever, and I know that you've won a bunch of stuff, so I should have your address in here on the laptop for stamps.com. I am going to put a little note on here that says Frank Nicholas, and then I'm going to ship it to you. You know what I just realized? Frank's on DJI. So all that work I did putting the analog VTX and camera in here, he's going to have to undo. But that's okay. You know, analog is better anyway. I keep trying to tell you guys, analog is the future. If you're gonna, you know, if you're not gonna listen and you're gonna fly DJI, then you're gonna win rigs that you have to do work on. Congratulations, Frank. Well, is this not sticky? What? Okay, I'll just put it in there. I'll just put it like that. There we go. All right, boys and girls. Let me show you some more 3-inch footage from the 1504. Oh, wait. Let me get caught up on chat a little bit. Oh, by the way, the next goal, the next goal on Patreon is at 500. At 500 patrons, I'm going to show you guys so that you believe it. Where is it? Where's it tell me the goals? There it is. Oh no, that's the tiers. Where are the goals at, Patreon? Where are you hiding them? There they are. View all goals. Look at this. 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 What's the button? What button do I hit? Here it is. We reached 100. Gave away a rig. We reached 200. Gave away a rig. And and Frank gets the shirt. Frank gets the shirt. In the 200 goal, there's a stipulation. The shirt off my back. Hopefully Frank wears a size large, because yeah, the day that we hit 200, I had this shirt on, and I haven't washed it since. I mean, I haven't worn it since either, but so yeah, Frank gets that shirt as well. Love it. View all. Look at the 500 goal, yo. Look at this. Look at this. How about if we get to 500? I don't remember when. When did I go? Fly. Yeah, look at this. I will fly to your town, or buy you tickets to fly to me, and we'll spend the weekend hanging, building, flying, destroying, and whatever other shenanigans you are down for. So let's get to 500, yo. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell everybody to jump onto my Patreon, and yeah, we'll hang out maybe. What do you think of that? All right. And let's get that shut down. And let me get caught up on chat, and then we're going to take a look at a little bit more flight footage. And we can even compare. Yeah, I'll play some flight footage from the 1306s, and then we'll play some flight footage from the 1504.5s, and we'll see if we can tell a difference. I think we'll be able to. I can just barely feel a difference. The 1306s are really good, though. Shockingly good. Jackalope says, if my name showed up on your test draws, we have a problem. I'm pretty sure it didn't, Jackalope, for the record. 661 says, so you use IPEX on a 5-inch. I don't. No, I use UFL. Are there VTXs that use IPEX? I didn't. I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was either MMCX or UFL. Oh, then 661 says or UFL or whatever. Yeah, I found UFL to be a lot more durable than MMCX. As long as you prep it, as long as you put like 1 or 2 pieces of shrink wrap in the right spots, which takes like 3 seconds. Frank says you should have my info. All right, good deal. Orga says send him a pool noodle instead and spin again. Don't support DJI people. That's cold. Frank says I need large, extra large. That's a large, so you're good. Drone Pilot says I recently had to change bearings on 4 motors after some saltwater and sand grinding crash. Couldn't find my bearing puller. Referred to your video and it worked a treat using old bearing push. Hell yeah, Drone Pilot. Yeah, just smacking bearings out with an Allen driver has worked for me for 4.5 years. Severin Hagerty says, what quad is that in the camera? I assume that you're referring to this one. This is my to be retired. Well, let's talk about it, actually. So this is my Acrobrat Duo. I have been on, like, Team Acrobrat, basically, since the very beginning. Tommy and I met coming up on, like, 3+ years ago at Quad Camp Atlanta. And when I did the Power Loop Matty Flip shenanigans, and he kept in touch with me because he wanted to get into to really dig into micros because he lives in LA where it's really hard to fly. So he pulled me in on the proto. I think I got the very first prototype of the original Acrobrat V1. At the time, it was just called the Acrobrat. Built it out. Him and I worked together. He's always been amazing to work with. Takes your feedback and runs with it, and doesn't have an ego about it. Like a lot of times when somebody spends a ton of time and effort making something, and then they give it to you to try it, when you give them feedback, they just make excuses, right? Because, like, you know, they don't want to feel like they made a shitty product. Tommy's never been like that. He's always taken the feedback very respectfully and just run with it and made changes. And that's, I mean, that's really important. It's hard to do that. It's hard to put your ego aside and do that. But it's one of the things I've always loved about him. And then, so this is then the Duo. As soon as the Duo came out, I snagged one, and I've been flying it ever since. But recently, I've been flying micros a lot harder, and I've broken a lot of Acrobrat Duo base plates and now side plates. And I think that I'm just sort of going to move on. Tommy's now got the 250, which I'm really looking forward to building once I get the new camera cage for the RunCam Hybrid. And, I mean, there'll probably be something coming out, you know, in the future from him as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, yeah, I've actually decided that I'm going to pull this thing apart. I'm going to pull all the electronics out of this and just kind of move on from the Acrobrat. It was a great frame design. I still think it has a lot of value if you're looking to get the smoothest possible onboard HD footage because it has the clean and dirty system. But for me, I crash too hard and I crash too often for this rig. The base plate has to be 3 millimeters because of the clean dirty system, and the all-up weight is 250 to 270 grams, depending on how you spec it out, and that's just a little bit too heavy for 3 millimeter thick arms. The other problem that I have is I hit like metal poles and concrete and stuff here a lot, and I've broken a bunch of these frames on these front spars, and then because it's a unibody, you have to replace the entire base plate, which takes a long time. So yeah, the other night I had a pretty nasty slam, which took a big old chunk out of the front corner here, and this A-arm was pretty much shot. But what it also did, and I've only had this happen one other time, but this can happen. You can break the side plates, and that's what happened here. The battery sits up here, and if you slam this thing inverted really hard, the battery will push on these side plates so hard that it actually breaks them. And that's a big ass. I mean, that's actually an easy and cheap failure to fix. It's much more of a pain in the ass to break this base plate, but that's a hell of a failure there. So yeah, one crash really did a number on this thing. The flying that I was doing before that crash was pretty incredible. Some of the best acrobat flying that I've ever done. And then when I looked at the footage, I was flying it a little too late at night, and it was all so dark that the footage was completely worthless, and I just deleted it. So unfortunately, you guys won't get to see the amazing flying that I was doing the last time that I flew an acrobrat, but that's how it goes sometimes in FPV. That's one of the problems with micros, is that we don't have a GoPro that's light enough, right? GoPros are like the standard in action cams for good reason. Oh my god, sometimes these props get on here so friggin' tight. Yeah, it would be really nice to have like an Insta360 Go made by GoPro. So yeah, I mean, I managed, in one crash, I managed to break this entire frame. This entire frame is made up of 3 pieces of carbon. Oh no, I guess it's 4 pieces of carbon, because there's this little, there's a little battery plate as well. I didn't break the battery plate, so that's good. But yeah, that was quite a violent slam that this thing took. To be honest, I mean, I went full fucking throttle, which on these 1804s is a lot. I went full throttle into the side of a building, essentially. I was trying to power loop this the entranceway to the building had like gaps on the left and right, so I was running it at a 90-degree angle from the way that you would walk into the building, and I was trying to power loop it, and I just didn't get enough. I came through and I didn't get enough height, and I just full throttled it into the wall right where the top corner was. I didn't quite clear the top corner. Basically, the problem was I was trying to get the power loop too tight. When you first start doing power loops, you'll get on the throttle too early, and it'll shoot you straight up in the air, and you won't get any backwards momentum. So then, as you get better at them, you pick up the throttle later and later and later, because the later you pick up the throttle, the closer that you'll skim the top of the object that you're power looping, and the better that it'll look. And so at the point where I'm at, like, I pick up the throttle way, way, way late, and power loops are not like a... For me, power loops are not like a simple, easy trick. They're a really sketchy trick because I try to run them in a way that makes them look really, really impressive, which is, you know, sketchy shit looks impressive, right? So yeah, you get it wrong eventually, and I got it very wrong, and it blew this thing up pretty good. But that's actually fine. I'm kind of excited to have another squid here that I can put into another Ripsqueak Micro, or maybe even the 250, to, yeah, just fly some... This is kind of an OG frame, right? Like, this is an old school frame. It's still a good one. I still think that the clean dirty system built into this frame has some real benefits, but my flying style doesn't really work with a frame that doesn't have removable arms, and a frame that's not super, super, super strong. If I'm going to fly a solid base plate frame, it's going to have to be a bomb-proof solid base plate. And I actually don't like that. I don't like a bomb-proof set of arms, because then the weakest point becomes the motors. You start breaking a lot of motors in that scenario. Oh my god, what just went flying? Oh. Okay. Oh, and now that screw is gone forever. That's okay. I have more. What am I doing? Why am I taking this apart? I don't need to be taking this apart. We wanted to look at some flight footage. And then I'm gonna... What we got? 25 minutes left? Yeah, stop taking this apart. Stop it. What are you doing? Stop taking it apart. Stop it. Don't take it apart anymore. Stop it. Stop, stop, stop. Alright, hold on. I'm about to stop. Let me just get these side plates off. Hold on. Stop. Stop it. What are you doing? This isn't good content. Taking things apart is not good content. Stop. Stop it. Alright, now you stop. Stop now. Hold on, just one more screw. Ooh, I broke the rear arm too. Good God. It also came smashing down on concrete and whatnot. Yeah, it looks like... Oh, no, I didn't really break it. Just the top layer. That's just a flesh wound there. That would have been fine for some more abuse. Alright, cool. So the side plates are off of this, which there's just no reason for. There was no reason for me to do that just now. I'm really not sure why. But there you go. That's what the inside of my Acrobrat Duo looked like. Kind of a sad day, man. It was hard. OBS, come on now. Don't do this to me. It's, yeah, I have a very long, very terrific history with acrobrats. I'm sad that I won't have one put together anymore, but the long and short of it is, in the last, like, 6 months, every time I've flown my acrobrat, within a couple batteries, I've blown it up. And then it sits for a while because it's hard to fix. It's not hard to fix, it's just time-consuming to fix. So it sits for a while, and then eventually I'll take like 1 or 2 full streams to fix it. and then I take it out again, and then I blow it up again, and then that just kind of like keeps happening and happening and happening. So I just got to, I just have to kind of move on, which is fine. Tommy's got a bunch of other really cool frames that are either, that are available. So we move forward. We soldier on. Where are we at in chat here? Michael D says, I've never flown yet, but bought a tiny trainer to build. Got beta FPV motors, 4500 kV. If the motors are too fast, is there a way to tone them down or buy less kV? There certainly is, Michael D. The main problem you're going to have with those beta FPV motors is they're going to get hot. They're very, very notchy, very coggy. I have a video, an edit on this channel called Testing Motor Cogginess and Notchiness. Those beta FPV motors are in there, and you can visibly see. I shot some high-speed footage. You can visually see how notchy they are. So those motors are going to get really hot. It's just the way that it is. It's not you. It's the design of the motor. Hopefully they hold up for you. Try not to hammer on them too hard because they're going to they're just going to be hot. The answer to your question is in the PID tab, in Betaflight, in the PID tab, there's something called motor limiting. And you can take that motor limiting, which is at 100% by default, and you can move that number down. So move it down to like 80% and then fly it, and you'll have 80% of the total amount of power. You could even change that in the on-screen display. You do your stick motion to trigger the on-screen display if you just land your rig, and then you can go into miscellaneous PP, and it's in there as well. Motor output limiting is what it's called. Crash Panda says, I don't need to fly anywhere. Let's build a thing together soon. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm in with that. I'm down with that. June Loco says, what's up? Dauntless says, I missed when you answered my question about Superview and ProTune stuff on session 4. Wild Willie has a video. How are you going to ask a question and then not stick around for the answer? Wild Willie, Nicholas Willard has a video here on YouTube. Just type in fake Superview or something like that. You'll find it. Or rewind the stream, and I gave a much longer, more involved answer. Bobby the Shank says, what's up? What's up, Collective? Glad I caught you on for a little bit. Welcome, Bobby. Athix says, love my 250 frame. I can't wait to build mine, man. Dauntless says, super glue that shit. Oh, damn, that's broken too. Yeah, it's all broken. Muddertskin says, I've been able to get the 250 to fly amazing. It flies way different from a full mass 5-inch, but I bet you have a lot of fun with your 4-inch version. Yeah, I'm going to put a very big, very heavy battery on the 4-inch version to try to get it to fly what, in my opinion, is right. And I might actually even put 3.5-inch props on it if I can get my hand on some. 250 grams. If you want a 250 gram rig to have the most similar flight characteristics to a 5-inch freestyle rig that's between 600 and 700 grams, the propeller size that you want for a 250 gram rig is 3.5-inch. So even at 4-inch, the 250 is going to be too floaty for me. It's going to fly like a toothpick. When you fly a toothpick rig, you hammer the throttle, you chop the throttle, you look down, and you wait for 100 days and nights for it to come down because it's so lightweight and the propellers make such a big parachute that it just doesn't fall. It just floats and floats and floats and floats and floats. And while you're floating, it's kind of boring, in my opinion. Like, when you're in the goggles, it's kind of fun because you're like, hey, I'm floating. But then when you watch the footage back, it's like, and I'm floating. And I'm still floating. And I'm still floating. And I'm still floating. And eventually I'll be down by the ground again where there's some fun stuff to fly around, but I'm still floating, and I'm still floating, and I'm still... So, yeah, I don't like that super, super, super floaty feel of these really lightweight, really big propellered rigs. I like the way that 5-inch rigs fly. I like the way that 5-inch rigs that are between 600 and 700 grams fly. So when I build micros, I build them to have as similar of a flight characteristic to 5-inch rigs as I possibly can. And for a 3-inch rig, that means 200 grams all up. For a 3.5-inch rig, that means 250 grams all up. For a 4-inch rig, that means 320, 340 maybe grams all up. And you can do that by just putting big old batteries on them. Schwer Gustav says, is there an ND filter for the RunCam Hybrid? There unfortunately is not, Schwer. So you just want to fly during golden hour and a little bit before golden hour. Brat is now ghosted, Freelojo says. Your Majesty says, you put the sass in disassemble. Your Majesty missing a good joke saying, you put the ass in disassemble. But I appreciate you being nice, Your Majesty. GrizzFPV saying, what's up? Tark61 saying, what race wire was on the acrobrat? It's just the official, fuck you, OBS. It's just the official race wire. It's the race wire made by Racewire. No, it's backwards on that one. Yeah, it's whatever their shortest length is. 25 millimeters, maybe? It's like their standard one. Hey, look at that. We're caught up on chat. Let's look at some footage. Okay. So here is the Rip Squeak. These two Rip Squeaks are very similar, not identical. They're both on RunCam hybrids. Here's some footage from... They're both in the same propellers, GemFan 3035s. Fuck you, computer. Work! This is the one that's on RCX 4000 kV 1306s. You can only buy these motors from MyRCMart. They are great motors. I love them long time. They're a little bit lighter than the Brother Hobby 1504s that we're going to look at in a second. So here you go. Here are the 1306s. Here's me talking at the camera like a jackass. Okay, here you go. I'm going to give you a little bit of audio. Or not, because nothing works. Alright? Oh, no. I'm not on the right... Oh, OBS! Hold on. I can't... If OBS makes me... Hold on. I'll be right back. Wait, no. Oh, God, OBS. Why do you do this? The keystrokes will just randomly stop working in OBS. And without the keystrokes working, it makes me want to jump off a building. I'll be right back. The stream is gonna spin around for a second. I'll be right back. Alright. I'm back. And the keystrokes are working. Okay, here you go. Here's the footage from the 1306s. Hopefully that's not too much disgusting AIDS mic volume for you guys. So there's definitely some jello at full throttle, but again, I think that's because these motors are a little older, and I have beat on them pretty good. But what we're trying to get a feel for is sort of just like general raw horsepower and flight characteristics and stuff like that. Alright, so that's the 1306s. Now we're going to look at the Brother Hobby 1504.5s. We're also kind of looking for like general confidence level, right? Like a better motor that clicks better with your brain, you're going to fly better. Literally. You're going to just straight up like literally fly better. Alright, so let me kick this memory card out. And we're going to put this one in. And I haven't even looked at this yet. This is from like 2.5 hours ago. Hopefully it mounts. Oh my god, it actually mounted. Thanks. world. All right, so here's the 1504s. Is this one? Yeah, this should be one. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's take a look. Come on, computer, you can do it. Please start to do it. Please start to do it, computer. Thank you. All right, so let's see. So that's full throttle, and there was no jello. So yeah, the much fresher, much less beaten to hell motors are definitely a little smoother at full throttle. That is to be expected. What I'm really kind of focusing on, though, to be honest, is how, like, where my confidence was at flying around, like how big I was willing to go. See, stuff like that, like when I'm willing to dump down in between two objects like that, that means I'm kind of like in it, and I'm feeling good. A little mid-throttle oscillation there, actually. Now it's nice and clean, though. These kids were screaming and yelling. Forget to give them a little thrill. Goddamn 17-year-olds. Alright, back into it. It might actually not be a mid-throttle oscillation. It might just be the computer kind of being a donkey. Let's see what else we got here. Oh! Oh! I think this is the end of the battery. Yeah. Alright, let's check out one more. Actually, no. You know what? Let's go right to the last little rip here, because this is when I was really starting to feel it. So I flew the 1504 rig for like 3 batteries, and then I flew the 1306 rig for a bunch of batteries, and now this is me going back to the 1504 rig. Watch this. This felt real good. Please, computer, please get your shit together. Yeah, so this is when I started to really feel somewhat locked in. And yeah, I mean, you can probably already tell. Just getting weird with it. Oh, yeah. So the one thing that the Runcam Hybrid doesn't do anywhere near as good as GoPro's is adjust from bright to dark, which is why that tree was like completely blacked out a second ago. It's just you want to try to fly spots where there aren't like deep dark shadows, and if there are deep dark shadows, you want to try to limit how often you go in between the bright fully lit sunlight spots and those dark shadows. Huh. Yeah, so the 1504s, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little more comfortable with them. Look at those flowing yoga pants. They're not really yoga pants. Yeah. I kind of feel like I maybe like the 1504s a little bit more, but what I will say is that they hammer the hell out of the batteries. Although my micro batteries are all very, very old. I need to get a bunch of fresh micro batteries so I can really head to head the 1306s against the 1504.5. So I'll wait to make judgment on that. I am going to put together another ripsqueak with these Mamba Toka 1505s. So these are kind of what I've been waiting for. This way I'll have 3 of those rigs. These are all 3 of the really good. There's also the Emax 1306s, but the Emax 1306s are very similar to the RCXs. So yeah, we'll get to head. The 3 of the 4 different really good motors for 200 gram 3-inch rigs, and we'll see how they are. B-Man is in the house. You missed a full build giveaway. You missed some other stuff, B-Man. It's a good stream tonight. You should rewatch it. Fairly Functional says, "Hey man, great stream. Thanks, your brother." Thank you, brother. Michael D says, "So running 80% as you suggested, will that help cool the motors if they burn up? What 1404 would you suggest since 4533 are out of stock?" What's 40? Oh, the 533s. The Emax Eco were the 1404s that I liked the most, but I am actually going to be buying some 1404s here soon. Thank you for the reminder, actually. I am now going to all 3 of the big stores and searching for 1404s. I'm going to build one of these ripsqueaks with the Runcam hybrid on 1404s and see how it is. It's probably going to be underpowered because it was way underpowered on the 1304s. But I don't know, we'll see. Maybe Motor Tech has caught up a little bit, and I don't know, we'll see. I would love to be able to build a 1404 ripsqueak that didn't feel like a fat ass that was able to carry around a Runcam hybrid, because that would bring the weight level down. But I gotta find a good 1404 first. So after the stream, I'm gonna spend a little time shopping around and get a couple of. What I'm gonna have to do is buy one of a bunch of 1404s, get them in, see if they're Nachi / Kagi, and then if I find one that's not Nachi and Kagi, that's why I like the Emax Eco 1404, because it was not super Nachi, it was not super Kagi. The problem was it seemed to be kind of fragile. So I'm not going to get another one of those Emax Eco 1404s, but it's the only 1404 that I know of that's not Nachi as hell. So, yeah. Dauntless says, is all this good coverage on the Eachine Nano? It certainly is. There's an Eachine Nano in the 1, and then there's actually an old Eachine VTX 03 on the other one that's only at 200 milliwatts. 200 milliwatts gives you really good coverage if you've flown a bunch and you have a good idea of where to stand and how to point your head. It also helps if you don't fly like this. If you're ever flying with someone else, tell them to let you know, like, you gotta fly with your head up. Like, you have to fly when you're in the goggles with your head up, because the antennas are connected to your head. If you go like this when you're flying, you're pointing your patch antenna directly into the ground, and you're basically turning your patch antenna off. And then at that point, all you have is your CP antenna, and the weakest point of the CP antenna is straight up. So when you're flying like this, you're pointing the weakest point of your weakest antenna directly forward. It's the worst thing you can possibly do. You have to teach yourself to fly with your head up and your head level, because that gets your antennas in their best possible polarization. And then the next level of learning is to teach yourself to connect your ears with your neck. When you fly the rig off to your right, your head should naturally twist to the right so that you can point your patch antenna at the quad. All you actually need to do is listen and just always try to hear the quad in both ears. If initially you're going to have to like think about it, and like as you fly around, if you then come back towards yourself, you're going to have to think about it and be like, oh, okay, I think I'm probably around here. Let me do this. But eventually, if you do it enough, you'll just always want to hear the quad in both ears. And if you can hear the rig in both ears, that means your head is pointed at it, and that means that your patch antenna is pointed at it. That's one of the best ways to get really good coverage. Christ, I could have been flying 25 milliwatts, to be honest with you, and I would have been totally fine at that spot. because I was standing up nice and high. I had my head up like I tend to, and I was following the quad with my head. The other thing that you can do is when you start to get breakup, to turn your head. You should have some idea if you're on the right side of yourself or the left side of yourself. So if you're in the goggles and you start to get breakup and you know that you're on the right side of yourself, that's all. That's all you got to do. You just have to force yourself to do it. It's not like an intuitive thing initially. FPV and says, any tips on tooling / how to make repinning the flight controller ESC harness easier? It's still not easy for me, and I've done it probably 100 times. You just have to. I guess the only tip that I've got, I used to use an X-Acto knife, and that works okay, but I've had better luck with a pair of tweezers that has a really sharp tip on them, and then you just have to be careful about stabbing yourself. So yeah, any old tweezers that have a really sharp tip, I have no idea where the hell I got these from. Those are what I use, and then just patience, man. Just be really patient, because those little plastic bastards, if you fold those all the way up, they're broken. You got to be able to just lift it up just the tiniest little amount, and then get your other finger on that wire and just sneak that wire on out. It just takes time. You just got to take deep breaths and meditate beforehand. Yarbs FPV says, how big packs are you running? I run those 1504s on my rip squeak on 525 and 525 get like not much life. My preferred battery at the moment is a 4S 550 GNB. Depending on how much ground I'm covering, I'll get anywhere between 2 and 3 minutes. It's a micro. It's just, you just got to deal with it. You're not gonna get 4 or 5 or 6 minutes out of a micro. It just doesn't work that way. 5-inch is a very unique size, and there's a lot of benefits to 5-inch that we just don't get in the micro world. So you got to just be willing to only have a 2 or 3 minute runtime. Doc says, I forgot to ask, what frame do 1507 motors go good in? None of them, really. 1507 is not, in my opinion, a good motor size really for much of anything. It's just too tall. A 7mm tall stator that's only 15mm wide is just a bad ratio. That's just a bad motor size. The ratio that you're looking for is times 3. You want to multiply the stator width. You want to multiply the stator height by 3, and that should be pretty close to the stator width. So 1404, for example, 4, 8, 12, and then 13, 14. That's kind of close. That's pretty close. What else? 1306, 6, 12, 18. 18 versus 13, not quite so close. 1504 and a half, 4.5, 9, 13 and a half. That's pretty close to 15 and a half. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, or it's a 3 times multiplier, like 2207, right? 7, 14, 21, very close to 22. 2306, 6, 12, 18, 18, not so close to 23, but 2306 has a really grunty, kind of meaty feel to it. Crash Panda says there's a set of filters on Banggood, including ND filters that are for 12mm diameter lenses, which I believe is what the hybrid is. Is it 12? Let's take a look. It is. Looks like it's about 12. The problem is the gap between the HD lens and the FPV lens is pretty much non-existent. So it would be kind of tough to get a lens cap on there, but I will absolutely order them because it would be great to have an ND filter for the RunCam hybrid. What do I have to search for to find that, Crash Panda? 12mm ND filter, maybe? Let's see. $12mm ND. Let's see what we got. Go, internet. Oh, Banggood, your search is useless. Absolutely useless. How'd you find those, Crash Panda? Hook a brother up. And remember.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだそこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメ目諦めたら。周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところ、しじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそ。
You guys can thank Smooth and Groovin for that one. He reminded me I haven't played Clan Man in a while. Doc says, was wondering for the 1507s you sent me. You know what you should do with those, Doc? Put them on a 3.5. I bet you those 1507s will... So, 1507s on a 3-inch prop, it's fucking chaos. It's just mayhem. I bet you a 3.5-inch prop would bring those things down into the realm of like reality. Yeah, on 3, unless you want to build like a race rig, they'd be great for a race rig. I shouldn't be so hard on things. 1507s would be a great motor size for a race rig. But with a freestyle rig, my God, they just make so much goddamn power. So yeah, do a 3.5-inch prop on those, and and they might be a little bit better. CiottiFPV says the Orca goggles have a head tilt alarm to help you train you from looking at your feet while flying. Oh my God, that's amazing! That is amazing. Oh, Orca, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Ugh, that's super cool. Yarb says right on, then it lines right up with the 2 and change that I get. Glad to know I'm not doing something wrong. Thanks, you're certainly welcome. Freelojo says, I'll give ghost updates on your streams, but so far it's been pretty easy. Once I got all the drivers for my computer, very cool. There's Smooth and Groovin calling Never Give Up. Crash Panda says, I'll send the link. It's not going to let you send it, Crash. YouTube doesn't let you. What's the name of the... what's just the name of the item so that I can, I'll just drop that into the search. That'll definitely find it. As long as I have the actual name of the item. The problem with Banggood's search is they name their shit wrong. They name their shit in a very dumb way sometimes. Like, they won't put like a space in between 2 words. I bet you this is them. No, that's not them. I bet you this is... No, that's not them. Those are screw-on. They need to be press on. Yeah, it's a naming convention issue. All right, one more 1507 quick rip here. I'm sorry, not 1507, 1504.5 rather, on the rip squeak. Come on, computer, you can do this. I have faith in you. I think this is the one where I forced myself to run that little tunnel of supports. But I usually don't do stuff like that because it's kind of a zero-sum game. Like, it doesn't look that cool. And if you bang into them, it looks really dumb. But to some extent, you kind of have to. Oh, I did drop down. I really wanted to plummet down there, like, real aggressively at some point, but 3-inch rigs just don't fly as confidently as 5-inch rigs. I'm kind of starting to get there. I'm starting to learn things here and there that make them a little bit better, but from the moon! it's shit like that, right? Like with a 5-inch rig, I would have been 1 inch off the side of that building. But with these micros, yeah, they just don't fly quite as good. But I'm getting there with them. It's definitely getting better. The turning down the ramp-up power really seemed to help, which is kind of crazy. I want to play around with that a little bit more. I think I'm also going to put a little bit of a bigger... maybe I'll go up to a 4S 650 on this, because it's still kind of floaty. The pacing of the floatiness is different. Like, it's... There it is. It's, I think it seems more floaty than it actually is because it just doesn't carry any momentum. Although adding battery weight will actually help with that as well. Pants flowing in the wind. Yeah, I mean, so there you go. That was, so I landed at like 3:15 and I took off at 55 seconds. So yeah, just a little bit over 2 minutes. B-Man says this is phenomenal for a 3-inch. Yeah, right. But you know, that statement kind of says it all, right? Like, this is phenomenal for a 3-inch. Like, I want to get that for a 3-inch out of there. I mean, you're obviously totally right, B-Man, and that is still 100% the case. But my drive is to be able to fly these ripsqueaks in a way that you kind of can't tell that it's not a 5-inch rig, and so that it's like, damn, that's great flying. Full stop, right? Like, there's no like, what rig was that? There's no like, was that? It's just like, that was really, really good. We'll get there. There it is. URAV, blah 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 filter. Hey, oh, they're phantom filters. Right. Very cool. Wait, here's the full name. Just pull up one. God damn it. Let's see. So, are these screw on? Oh wow, no, that's huge. The body of that is gigantic. Oh wait, is that the front? Bang good. Are you for real right now? All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna have to do a little research to see if these will work on the run cam. How to great find, Crash Panda. Awesome, man. FPV Trucker says iFlight C1408 3600 are pretty smooth. I run them on my 3-inch Apex. No jello. The C is for cinema. I think somebody had mentioned those motors previously. I hate motors that are really tall like that, so I won't get those motors. But for any of you guys that like super tall motors like 2208s, where they don't have any power down low, but then at the top of the throttle it's like a nuclear bomb going off, it sounds like those iFlight C1408s will be a good fit for you. Frank Nicholas says, for the 200 Patreon quad, what do you recommend for a battery? 6S 1050 or 1100 or 1000? I'm a big fan of the Tattoo R-Line version 1 1050 6S. The Ovonic 6S 1000 is a really good budget option. And then I want to get some more of the Talon 1150 6Ss. Those are 3 of my favorite ones. B-Man FPV says you might be able to do that, but physics might get in the way. You just don't get the inertia, and you can tell once you've been flying these for a while. Very true, B-Man. Where I'm trying to flip that is flying smaller spaces. Once these 3-inch rigs get as locked in and as dialed in, and I can fly them as confidently as a 5-inch rig, I'll be able to fly in a spot like that and get really down and dirty with the really small stuff, like the table and chair sets and shit like that, and really shred on those, and then do a couple of those big moves. That's really my goal, is to get them so that you can so confidently, because the fact that they don't have the inertia is a really good thing for when you fly on the smaller scale. And that's something you guys are probably sick of me talking about, is that with micros, you need to fly them in a smaller scale. It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to use these big, stupidly powerful motors on a micro and then try to run the damn things 100 miles an hour like a 5-inch rig. Because what happens there is you end up building it so fat and so heavy that it no longer flies like a 5-inch rig, because the propellers are so small and the weight is so high. So when you chop the throttle, it falls out of the sky like a sack of anvils. And when you try to corner the damn thing, it just keeps sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding because it doesn't have enough prop surface. So in my opinion, you know, if you want something that makes that kind of power, fly a 5-inch rig. I mean, the other thing too is when you make a 3-inch rig have that kind of power, it's loud as hell. So the whole like, oh, stealth and not getting screamed at thing goes right out the window, because it's just as loud as a 5-inch rig. So yeah, in my opinion, if you're gonna fly a micro, you should be flying it in physically smaller spots, and you should fly smaller. You should be flying around smaller objects. You should be trying to hit smaller gaps. But the problem is, we haven't had the R&D cycle that 5-inch rigs have had. So we don't have motors that are perfectly matched to the propellers yet. We don't have propellers yet that are really, 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 really good. We don't have frames that are like, it's just, yeah, we just don't. 5-inch has had a very deep development cycle over the last like 6 or 7 years. Micros have not. In terms of like the development cycle of micros, it's been like me, Kebab. Who else? Right? Who else has been like actively pushing micros and sharing information and like A/B testing and stuff like that? If you know somebody else, definitely let me know who they are, because I want to be friends with them so that we can bounce ideas off each other, because I've been out here in the woods all alone for a long time. Doc says Nick Burns. The problem with Nick is he basically just flies the rigs that get sent to him, right? He doesn't really often custom build rigs and A, B, C test motors. I'm pretty good friends with Nick. We do talk here and there. But I when I start to dig in with Nick and talk about like, oh, what do you think about this motor versus that motor? It's like, oh, well, you know, that one motor came on this rig that had a shitty ass frame, so I can't really tell. And it's like, ah, damn, you know, like I need somebody who's put the 3 different motors on the exact same frame, right, to give them a fair shot. But yeah, Nick and I have had some great conversations about the flight dynamics of small rigs in the past, and I'm sure we will again in the future. Look at that, it's 12:15. Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. My voice is starting to go to hell, so I'm going to chop this one, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tuesday? Maybe I won't see you tomorrow. I might start taking Tuesdays and Thursdays off. But if I'm in the mood, I'll throw the camera on. Or if I'm working on something at the desk, I'll throw the camera on. B-Man with the last comment of the night, he says, not trying to be a dicker, but making a 3-inch fly like a 5-inch when you're diving buildings is going to be a tall task. You'll see what I mean, B-Man. You'll see what I mean. 3-inch rigs are going to dive a much smaller building and be just as impressive. You'll see. This is going to be the summer where 3-inch freestyle really becomes a thing, come hell or high water. And it's going to be a different flight style. That's important. It's, you know, sort of the analogy of like you wouldn't take a top fuel dragster on an autocross course, right? It's a tool for a job. 5-inch is rigs are a tool for a job. They're a tool for a specific sized flying location. 3-inch rigs are a tool for a much smaller flying location, and we just don't typically do that. And I'm starting to find spots where I can do that. The spot that I found yesterday is brilliant. 5-inch rigs won't fit there. Straight up won't fit. The gaps are too small for a 5-inch rig. This spot that you just saw, you can't fly a 5-inch rig there because of noise, because security would come and stab you. So yeah, this is going to be a cool year for 3-inch freestyle. I'm going to really work my ass off to try to bring it into its own. I think I'm actually pretty close with these ripsqueaks. I just need to spend some more time on them. I also want to get them on the crossfires for a little bit less latency. Right now they're on RXSRs and they're on the RunCam Hybrid. God knows what the latency's like in the RunCam Hybrid FPV system. So there's some work that needs to be done. But I mean, from the flying I did today and yesterday, I'm like really, really, really nice stoked. I'm really encouraged that there's, I don't know, a future for hard 3-inch freestyle. That's what she said. Thanks for hanging out, people. This is my full-time gig. Please help me do this each and every day by jumping over to CiottiFPV.com and clicking a bunch of buttons. There's a whole bunch of affiliate links. Join my Patreon. Buy some of my stuff on Etsy and Fiverr and wherever you would like. Buttons down here for free. Maybe an edit coming tomorrow. Hard 3-inch 2021 CiottiFPV. Here's the first battery I flew at that spot today. Enjoy. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
So